All right. Just in case you don't know me, my name is Xavier Phillips. I am a grants administrator for the Alaska Workforce Investment Board, and I have a few people here with me to assist. I've got Susan Hunter and Sean Pierce. They're both program coordinators. And there's also Christina Young, who is a grants administrator like me. All right, and we're here to help and guide you along the way. I'm going to be going back and forth between two screens. I've got the test site open and the live site.
Okay.
Some some things I will do in the live site, and but I won't create an individual in the live site only because the help desk does not like that at all. They get very, very angry when we create things in the live site. So if you would like to test things out, please do not do that in the live system. Make sure we can provide you with a test site to do that in. Any questions about that? Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and just dive right into it. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you really quick. All right, so the screen that I'm sharing is the test site. So it's going to look a little different from the live site, but the information is pretty much the same. Okay, so when you log into Alaska Jobs, wait, let me roll back. Does everyone here have access to Alaska Jobs? You can
Yes.
raise. Okay, great, great, great. All right, so when you log into Alaska Jobs, what you want to do is you're going to click on menu. Everything you're going to do is pretty much is going to revolve around this menu button on the right left-hand side of the screen. So you click on menu, and the first thing we want to do is see if we can find a participant that is in the system, okay? In order to do this, the best and easiest way is to use the quick assist, and you type their last name, comma, first name. So I'm going to see. All right, so the participant I'm going to work with is already in the system. So I'm going to go ahead and click on his name. And I apologize, it does the test site is a little bit slower than the live system. So bear with me. All right, so after you click on their name, the information that comes up is just the basic information about the participant. We are not going to do anything on this screen at all. You just look to make sure that it is the participant that you're wanting to work with. Okay. All right. So I can verify this is the participant I want to work with. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on staff profiles. Okay. Then I'm going to click on case management profile, and I'm going to click on programs. Once that has happened, I'm going to scroll down. Sometimes you'll see a lot of information on the participant already. You'll see a number of programs that they've already been entered in. Um, you're not going to enter any information in any of these. You're going to create a new one. So because we're working with state programs, they're always under agency defined programs. So I'm going to click on create agency defined program application. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I'm still waiting for it to create it. There it goes. Okay. So now I'm at the place where I can start entering information. So the application date is the date the application was completed by the participant. The eligibility date is the date the participant was determined eligible for the program. Okay, those dates can be the same, but they may not be the same. Okay, so when you enter, so again, you enter the date the application was completed, and the eligibility date could have occurred a couple of days later, a week later, whatever the case is. So in this case, I'm going to say that both dates are the same. So I'm going to click today. When you're putting in dates in Alaska Jobs, make sure you put a 2-digit month, 2-digit date, and then a 4-digit year. Okay, it will not accept any other date format. So make sure you put in a 2-digit month, 2-digit day, and then a 4-digit year. If you don't do that, it's going to bark at you. All right, so the LWDB region is the region that your agency is in, and this would be the main agency. So you have locations in, let's say you have have an office in Anchorage, you've got an office in Juneau, and maybe you have an office in Ketchikan. Whichever office is the main office is the office that you want to select, or the region that you want to select. So I'm going to select the Anchorage region. Okay, office location, in many cases, it will go ahead and default to your agency, but if it doesn't, you go ahead and select the agency name, and that is your agency. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we're only focusing on those things that have a red asterisk next to it. We want to select the program eligibility in this case. Again, I'm in a test environment, so you won't see some of the other programs that we have that will meet this eligibility. In this case, I'm going to select STEP, but there's AWIG and there's a couple of more that you'll see. And then I'm going to go ahead and click next. Okay, now this is where you're going to update the address. Okay, so if their participant has a different address, they've moved, you'll update it here. So you want to just make sure the address is entered. All right. Notice the mailing address does not have a red asterisk next to it. So be sure you don't have to worry about that. Again, just focus on those things that have an asterisk. Even though it doesn't have a phone number with an asterisk, please be sure to put a phone number and or email address. Reason being, at the end of the training year, we are going to reach out to the participants to verify that they did attend training and want to see how things went for them. Okay, so that would either be a phone call or an email from us. All right, any questions about that? Okay, all right, I'm going to go ahead and click next. I've verified the address. By the way, if you do have a question, as we're going through, you can, if you're in the chat, you can click raise your hand, and I'll see that on my screen and try to acknowledge you. And if I miss it, I've got people here who will help me remember that there's a question. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click next. I've already entered address information. The next thing I want to do is, this is actually it says staff information, but it's actually the participant self-attestation statement. They're confirming that they have complete the application and they understand the document completely. The only thing you need to do is click finish. It does ask for a signature. Please, you do not have to worry about doing a signature on this page. All right, so some people will actually try to put a signature in there. Don't You don't have to put a signature in the system. Just simply go ahead and click finish. And once you get this pop-up message, go ahead and click return to programs tab. It'll take you back to where you were when you initially started. And as I scroll down, I will see that I have a new step record created or whatever program you're working with. Okay. We are not done yet. So we've got them entered in so that we can put in their information for the actual training session. I'm sorry, for the program. So the next thing I need to do is click the plus sign. It's going to open up a lot more information for you, and we're going to click on the plus sign here for under activities enrollments. Every participant must have an activity or a service or enrollment. If you do not put this in, we won't know that the participant received training from your organization. All right, so go ahead and click activity and create activity enrollment. All right, now we're going to put in some additional information. LWDB should automatically default. Again, you want to select your office location if it's not already defaulted. Okay, so activity code is where we have to be very, very careful. You want to select the activity code that that has been entered for your agency uh, in the back end. So and that's your provider profile. Whatever you selected as your what your what services your agency is going to provide is the one you need to select. So, for example, if you when you enrolled your agency at under the profile and you selected custom job link training, that's the one you have to select each time. If it is industry specific, that's the one you need to select each time. If you selected pre-apprenticeship, that's the one you need to select each time. Okay, I want to make sure that's clear. If you select any others, you will not be able to go to the next phase. It's going to lock you out. You'll need to reach out to us to fix that for you. So in this case, I'm going to select industry specific. All right. Here is where a lot of people get confused, and I completely understand why. Because I initially said that you must put, just answer the question, have an asterisk next to it, but the system is going to require either a projected begin date or an actual begin date. And so I want to try to make sure this is clear. Projected begin date is any date in the future. So if the training is tomorrow, that's a future date. So it will be projected begin date. Even though you know the begin date, that date has not occurred yet. So it has to go under projected begin date. If it is today or has occurred in the past, you put the actual in. Okay, I'm hoping that makes sense. So projected means it's a date in the future. Okay, so
All right.
tomorrow will be future. Go ahead, Charlene.
Yeah, I do have a question because I remember previously I would go back in and enter the actual begin date after entering the projected begin date. So that's not needed. So if I enter it in as projected, I can just go ahead and do a projected end date.
You
Is
can
that
do a
correct?
projected begin date and a projected end date. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So if the date is today or has passed, it will be actual. If the date is future, you would put in projected. You put it in projected begin date. Okay. Now here's the drawback to doing that. When you put projected begin date in, you won't be able to close out the participant today. Okay. So I've requested that for all of our state programs, when you enter participant in, go ahead and exit them out. The reason for that is a lot of agencies were forgetting to go back in and actually close those participants out, and they were putting in the wrong information later. So I want to make sure that that does not occur. So if you use the projected begin date, please make sure to go in and exit the participant before the fiscal year ends. Okay, does that make sense? All right. So I'm going to put in a projected begin date of tomorrow. It doesn't want to type. There we go. Tomorrow's the 4th. All right. And for the projected end date, if you know what the end date is going to be, you can go ahead and put that in. If not, I encourage everyone to use the end of the fiscal year to put as the projected end date. Okay, fiscal year always ends on 6/30, whatever year it is, or whatever fiscal year it is. Okay. I'm scrolling down. I'm going to click next. Okay, so it's asking for the provider. The provider is typically the agency that is entering the participant in. All right. If that is not your agency, you can put the agency that is doing the training. Just make sure that that agency, you know what programs that agency is listed in as. If you don't know that, go ahead and put your agency as the training provider. Okay. Again, I'm going to select my agency here. Okay. Now I got to select the service contract, of course. All right. And I want to clarify this really quick. I get more questions on this than I do anything else. So many times, so the services courses of contract are the courses that the agency has entered in their provider profile page. Sometimes the agency doesn't have not entered all of their training programs. So the one that you're looking for may not be listed here. If it is not, do not panic. Just go ahead and select the one that's there. Okay. And the best example I give, let's say you're in the construction field, right? And there's nursing here. Go ahead and select nursing. Go ahead and select it. You're not breaking anything. You're not committing any type of crime. Just go ahead and select it, because when you get to occupational training code, you're going to put right here the actual training that was provided to them. So I'm going to click on occupational training. Okay, again, I have education training post secondary here. Click select occupation from ONET table, and you can search for the type of training that was provided. So in this case, I'm going to select construction, and then it's going to refresh and give me a list of all of those things that it feels is related to construction. Okay, so I'm going to select carpenters here. I just select that one, and it'll automatically put the training code there. So again, I would just want to reiterate, whatever you have listed as under service contract, go ahead and select whatever's there. If what you're looking for is not there, don't panic, don't worry, select what's there. When you get to the occupational training code, that's where you'll be able to select the actual training that was provided. I'm going to click next. We're not worried about costs at this point in Alaska Jobs for our state programs. So you're going to skip everything that's related to cost. Up here, at the top, you'll see tabs. Just go straight to the closure information once you've entered the general information and the service provider. So go to the closure information, and if you're going ahead and entering the the end date as today, you're entering everything the same day. You can put today is the end date, last activity date, and then the completion code. You select either successfully completed, or if they dropped out, you can come back in and select dropped out. Okay. I selected a future date, so it's not going to let me exit them today. So I just click finish. Okay. And so I'm still in completed stage right now, but again, because the date that I selected initially has not occurred yet. All right, so now I'm going to go back in and edit the start date. All right, so what I want to do, a lot of people don't know this, so I'm going to show you this little trick that I learned. I want to edit the service. So what I do is I come back and I click on the W next to service. I want to edit. The W allows me to go in and make some edits to what I've already put in. All right, so notice I can still change the date. I'm going to go ahead and change this from projected begin date to actual begin date. So I'm going to change this to today. and I'm going to go next. Everything else is still the same, so I'm going to the close your information tab, and I'm going to put today as the closure date, and I'm going to say that he successfully completed, and now I'm going to finish. So before the service said it was completed or in work in progress, now it says completed. All right. So I still have more work to do. If the participant earned a credential, you can upload a copy of the credential here. If you upload a copy of credential, the participant will have access to it. So that would be the reason for putting their credentials earned here. All right. The next thing I want to do is exit the participant out. Okay, I've already put in the service. I've closed it out. I come to create exit outcome. Date of exit is going to be today. All right. Again, I got to select the one-stop location. One-stop location is the agency that the participant received training from, or your agency, should I say. All right. And then I want to put an exit reason in, and you can say enrollment services completed, training services completed, or participant withdrew. Click next. You don't have to add employers, so I'm going to click next again. All right. And then I'm going to click finish. All right, and if I scroll up, it'll tell me the case is exited. And now I'm done with this participant. I've got them entered in, and I've got their service in, and I've exited them. All right, any questions about that part of it? That's only one part. That's if you enter a participant and they're actually in the system. Any questions? I see someone typing. All right, while that message is getting ready to come through. Oh, no questions. All right. All right, so now I'm in the live system. This what I'm about to show you now does not work in the test site yet. So what happens if I have a participant that they're not in the system at all? What you want to do, you have to create the profile first. All right, in order to do that, the first thing what you do is make sure you have a document saved. It could be a PDF document, a Word document. Just have a document saved on either your desktop or someplace you can get to it quickly. That's called AlaskaJobs resume. Okay, make sure you have something like that. I'm going to, you're going to click on menu again, and this time you're going to go down to assist individual. I always pass this for some reason. All right, it's manage individuals. So I click the arrow there, and now I want to create an individual. There are two options here. We have comprehensive registration and register with a resume. Now, if you have nothing but time, you just want to uh, not play around, but enter the long way of participant, you'll click on comprehensive registration. Okay. And basically, what the comprehensive registration is going to do is going to ask you a whole bunch of questions that you probably won't know the answers to. Okay. A whole bunch of questions. There are several pages. You're going to be clicking for a while. It can take anywhere from 20 minutes to 45 minutes. All right. So you'll enter this information in, then you go scroll down, click next, and the information that next page, and click next. Then in the information on that page, click next. I recommend that you don't waste your time doing that. Let the participant do that if possible. Use the register with a resume option. What that's going to do is going to limit the amount of times you're going to click and just give you one page instead. All right, that's the reason I asked you to create a file called Alaska Jobs Resume and put it somewhere where you can get to it quickly, because you're going to upload it right here. If you have resume for the participant, use that. All right, so I'm going to look for Alaska Jobs Resume, which I have right here. All right, I've got it in, so I'm going to click next. Again, it can be a blank document. If you have a resume, please go ahead and use that, because Alaska Jobs is smart enough that it'll put the information exactly where it belongs if it can recognize it. If it doesn't recognize it, it'll just leave everything blank. All right, so this is the only page of information that you'll have to fill out. All right, so again, you answer everything that has an asterisk. You'll put in their name. All right, so Social Security isn't necessarily required, but it is helpful when we get ready to compare their data or do the research on at the end of the fiscal year. If the participant doesn't want to provide their Social Security number, you can simply click I do not wish to provide the Social Security number, confirm that you understand that they're not going to receive um, certain benefits that this site is connected to. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and it's going to block out the Social Security number. All right. Now, if they don't provide a Social Security number, they must provide a date of birth. If they do not provide either, you cannot serve their participant with grant funding, because we need both is preferred, but we do need one or the other. Okay, so if they don't provide either, that participant cannot be served with grant funding. Okay, you'll enter their phone number. Um, Hopefully, they're authorized to work in the U.S. Um, while this is not necessarily a required question for state programs, it is to get them enrolled. Are they homeless? You just simply check yes or no. It is on the application. All right, again, you enter the address information. Again, date of birth is we have to have date of birth if they, especially if they don't provide the social. Okay. You may not have the answers to this question. Just for the military questions, if you don't have that information, just give it your best guess. Again, you're not doing anything illegal. All you're doing is just trying to get it so you can enter their services in Alaska Jobs. Okay. All right, and you don't have to answer. It has an asterisk next to it, but you don't have to enter the job title they're interested in or the job occupation. You can skip that part, click save, and then it will create the participant unless there's something that you've forgotten up top. All right. Once you've done that, then you'll be able to take the steps that we just did to go ahead and search their name under menu. I'm going to cancel out this really quick. So again, you'll go to menu, you'll type their name, last name first, as you should be able to find them at that point. There are times that you'll put someone's name in, you won't find them. It will then, you'll go through the process of entering them in, and the system will tell you this person's already in the system. And a lot of grantees have found that frustrating. What has happened, what may have happened is the participant may have had a name change. Maybe they legally changed their name, or possibly got married and changed their name and just didn't update their profile in Alaska Jobs. So if you cannot find them by their name, you can also search by social security number or date of birth or anything like that. So if you can't find them by name, try entering their social to see if you can find them that way. Okay. All right. Any questions about that? All right. I'm going to keep going really quick. All right. So the next thing that I can use this one. The next thing I want to show you is how to pull your agency's list of participants once you've entered them in. All right, so again, what you want to do is go to Menu, and you want to scroll down to Reports, and we're going to go Detail Reports. I'm not going to click on Detail Reports. I'm going to click the arrow right next to it, and I'm going to click on Case Management Reports. Now, this was recently updated. There's more clicking than what there used to be. All right, so in this case management reports is the menu there is opened. So I'm going to click on case status. I'm going to click on case load, and then I'm going to click on active cases. All right, so I want to select the program I'm working with. In this case, it's going to be STEP. All right, and I'm going to select my region again if it's not defaulted. And then I'm going to select the name of my agency. This way. All right, there we go. All right, then I want to select the date range. I always select current program year because that'll give me a list of participants I've entered to date. So from the beginning of the fiscal year to wherever date we are today, so it's going to give me that entire list. Once I have that date, I'm going to click Run Report. All right, and then it's going to show me my active cases and the cases I've exited. The active cases are all the participants that you've entered for the fiscal year, including the ones that were exited for that same period. All right, and exited is just simply the ones that were exited for this fiscal year. All right, to see the whole list, I'm gonna click on the number, and now I'll get a list of names of all the participants that I've entered. Okay, depending on the number of participants that you've entered, they may not all show up on this page. So the way to navigate to the next page is scroll back to the top and click the arrow to the right, or you can save a copy of the list. Click the disk, and you can select the format in which you want it to appear in, whether it's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF. I always use Excel. It's going to force you to save it. I'm going to save it on my desktop really quick. And I'm going to just name it something that I can remember what it is. And it's going to look, once it opens up, it's going to look just like it looks right here. All right, so here's my list of participants in Excel format. So now I can modify this list and do what I need to with it. Okay. And all the participants are going to show up on this one page. It's not gonna, you're not gonna have to scroll through. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and close this. All right, so let's say I want to update this search criteria. A lot of people just click the back button and go back one. If I click back, and I know for sure it's going to refresh everything I just put in. So if you just want to update just a couple things from this list, come down to the bottom and click on Update Search Criteria. And what it's going to do is going to take me back to where I was. Everything is still as it was before. And all I want to do is modify the the date range. So I want to look at last fiscal year. So previous program year, I'm going to run that report. All right, so as you can see, there were 71 that were entered for last year, only 33 were exited. Again, I click on the number to see the entire list, and I can save a copy of it. Just like I just showed you, you can save it in whatever format is easiest for you, whether it's Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Okay, and again, on this report, you can see the ones that were exited. and which ones have not. So if they were exited, it'll show the date that they were exited and the reason they were exited, right? Any questions about that, about pulling a report? Okay, I'm going to go back to update search criteria. All right, I'm not sure if you guys have the ability. If you don't, please let me know. You can save this to your reports. So if you click save to my reports, you'll get a pop-up message where you can name it. And when you say do not share, that means it's just not going to share with other people. Name it what you want and then click save. And then you'll just, when you click on reports from the menu that you select, just go down to my reports, go to reports again. I'll show you that in just a second. Let me show you that real quick. So I'm going menu. I'm going down to reports. I'm going to click on my reports. All right, and I got to click my reports again. And now all the reports that I have are here. So if I just want to display it, I just click display. Or if I want to update the filters, I can do that. So that's how you get to my reports. All right. Any questions about pulling reports? I realize I'm going really fast. I'm going to make this available to you after we have completed the training today. It's going to, well, not immediate after. I have to upload it to YouTube, edit it, and all that good stuff. And then I'll make it available to you and email it to you after the training. All right. Any questions about pulling reports? Is there anything that I've not shown you that you would like for me to show you in Alaska Jobs? This is a very quiet group. Last group, we went a long time because there were lots of questions. This one, you quiet. No questions. Don't be afraid. There's no such thing as a dumb question, stupid question. You don't know what you don't know. So just FYI, these are the reports that we use when we verify the participants that you entered into your progress reports. So make sure that whatever number you're entering is what's in Alaska Jobs. Otherwise, we're going to reach out to you to find out why, what's going on. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Sometimes a grantee will enter a participant in by accident into either enter them in the wrong program, or they will have accidentally entered them into the system altogether. When that happens, please reach out to us. We won't be able to transfer the participant to a different program if you enter them in the wrong program. What we have to do is delete them completely from that program and then allow you the opportunity to enter them into the new program. Okay. If you enter the wrong service, we can delete the service and have you enter the service again. So try to be careful at with the mistakes that are being made. Some things we have to reach out to the help desk to help us with, and they're very short-staffed, so we may not get it done right away. So we're asking for patience there. Otherwise, we'll get it done as quickly as we can. Sean, Susan, Christine, Christina, can you think of anything I have not covered?
Everything seemed pretty straightforward to me, but
Okay.
I'm kind of learning
Did
with
you
everybody on this one. So
did you remember to tell them to log in once a month? I can't remember if you mentioned
Thank
that or
you.
not.
Thank you. That's a
Mhm.
great question. Okay, everyone. Very, very important. Thank you, Susan. Please, 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 I beg of you from the bottom of my heart, log in at least once a month into Alaska Jobs. What happens is if you don't log in at least once a month, it is going to deactivate you. It's going to deactivate you. So please log in once a month so that you're not deactivated. If you do get deactivated, what you can do is you can reach out to us or you can reach out to the help desk directly and they should be able to reactivate you. Sometimes they have you confirm with us that we want you reactivated, and that's okay. Just send us a quick message, let us know that they've requested confirmation from us, and we'll take care of that.
There was the other thing, the social security number fact, if they go and try to create an account and they put in the social security number, if the person already has an account, it will not let them create the profile.
Right. So if again, if the person is in the system, and that will goes back to the name change that I was talking about. If a person, if you search a person in Alaska Jobs and you can't find a name, but then you go into the system and you when you put the social security number in, it tells you I can't. This person's already in the system. That is 9 times out of 10 because their name changed. If you go back into the search screen and type their social security number, it will pull them right up. Okay. So try the social security number search, and then you'll probably find them. All right. All right. If there are not any other questions, I'm going to hang out for a little while to see if there's anyone that has a question that they were afraid to ask publicly. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks, Avian.
No problem.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. I'm glad, Charlene. I'm very glad. Christina, your skeleton looked like he's raising his hand, so I kept wanting to say, yes, Christina.
oh no, I'm sorry. It's weird
That's okay.
because my skeleton's actually not showing up for me. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, it showed up for me. It's raising his hand right
Okay.
now, like, hi.
Yay.
I think everybody's gone now, so I think we can leave.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.